Continuing with caregiver talk, we now have repetition in Motherese. So, repetition in a mother's own utterances in full is much more frequent in Motherese than adult to adult talk, and this is especially true in the first few months of life. There's a peak in repetition at about 4 months, and then it gradually declines over the next 2 years. There's a repeated occurrence of well practiced sequences and exchanges, so routines are so important for learning language. And the ordinary interactions, like I said, they do so much for putting together regularity and exchanges and what's expected. Responses are contingent upon each other. Also, the nursery rhymes and songs, tickling games, peekaboo, book reading, puzzle play, eating, bath time, the same or nearly the same words and phrases are used each time, which makes it easy to predict the next utterance sequence. And after a while, less structured routines occur around a wide variety of daily events. So the takeaway message is that adults frequently repeat themselves, they repeat themes with the young children when they are trying to get a message across and they are not sure if the child's attention is focused or understanding. The routines of everyday life and play provide a multitude of opportunities for varied repetition that promotes a child's language development. Negotiating the meaning of Much adult talk with a child involves attempts to negotiate meaning. The adult is attempting to resolve the child's unclear, imprecise, incorrect, or incomplete utterances, and attempting to understand and maintain the child's participation in the conversation. There are two strategies that are used by mothers or caregivers to negotiate meaning, and they include expansions and seeking of clarification. You can indicate a lack of understanding through puzzled facial expressions and or through gestures. So there are neutral requests for repetitions like what or huh, the use of a yes or no choice to solicit a confirmation that an adult's interpretation is correct. The continuation of keeping the child talking, which is a primary goal of adult and child conversations, is to get the child to take a turn. Adult utterances could be followed by like nonverbal cues. It doesn't always have to be a vocalization. There could be acknowledgments or utterances that acknowledge and accept the child's previous utterance without adding anything to it, like a right or a huh. The effects of acknowledgement give the child positive feedback regarding their truth, and they tend to encourage continued participation. There's also expansions and extensions. So expansions provide an improved or corrected alternative way of saying what the child is saying. Extensions request or provide new information about the same topic. There's also responsiveness in the caregiver. So face-to-face interactive play consistent with the child's behavior. And whatever an infant does gets interpreted as a conversational turn. The parent incorporates the child's behavior so that it represents a dialogue in those very early encounters. With each growth stage, the mother expects a bit more from the child in terms of vocalizations and rhetoric behaviors before she'll accept it as a conversational turn. She still smiles and laughs and tries to engage the child, but she's expecting more as the child gets older. From 7 to 36 months, the mother can up the ante in terms of what she requires to be considered a communicative behavior from a child. So initially, the mother will respond very minimally to behaviors, as if they were meaningful conversation turns. But as the child grows, more is expected. There are some issues with Motherese. You need to have a nurturing environment, topics of mutual influence and mutual experience, a generous use of acknowledgments and praise, repetition with expansions, turnabouts with yes and no questions, and the purpose is to get the child talking. Adults use the Motherese register modifications that are fine-tuned to meet the child's developing linguistic and attention levels, and the mother's talk continually is adjusted to maintain an optimum fit with the child. So to assist a child with hearing loss to reach a maximum level of achievement, you have to create an optimal set of interactive conditions for facilitating the growth of the child's language.